Are you a deviant? You know, like those of us who binge watch serial killer programmes, laugh at the stupid shit people do, and revel in anything adult? Well, you found your people. Join us as we crack open the door to the padded cell and release the insanely stupid, the weirdly wonderful, and those who choose to live outside societal norms. We'll delve into the strange, the macabre, the sexy, and the outrageous. So if you're a deviant, then you have your place with us in the padded cell. Hello once again and welcome to the Padded Cell podcast, and we're on episode 15 and we've gone full on Christmas cunt. I'm going to say it because it's a Christmas episode.
I didn't even go there.
It's a Christmas episode, so you know all the rules are changed.
Have you got a Christmas t-shirt on? Because we can't see.
I know, I've left my scarf on purpose.
Okay.
So I'm going to reveal my t-shirt. You've seen this.
I've seen it.
Yeah. I wasn't going to put it on, and then I got an opinion from Jim, which is the worst thing to do in the world, because if it's anything madly offensive, he goes, oh, do it. So I put it on and I went, do you think this is a bit too offensive or a bit too far off the podcast? And he went, no. So if any of you find this t-shirt I'm about to reveal offensive, there's a PO box on our Facebook page. Feel free to write a letter to Jim. You can address it at Jim Vic's sub.
You're brave.
I know. No, Jim Vic's fella. I have a complaint, but hopefully you'll like it. So I'm going to do a reveal.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
I feel like I need some music or something. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Maybe not jingle bells. That's really shit. So is that too offensive?
We've lost Dylan already.
Perfect.
Do you like it, Dylan?
I do like that a lot.
Do you think the masses are going to start complaining to Jim?
Fuck 'em.
Okay, so Dylan is also going to be sweary today. Jesus, how many minutes in are we? We've said cunt and fuck, and I can't believe you've said fuck.
I've said nothing.
Yeah, it's all to come. It's all to come. So we're all
Better
okay
swap
with
this
the
out for a halo today.
Say it again.
Better swap this out for a halo.
Nah. Be a black, broken, dark one. I also like the lovely Barbie picture
I
you've
know,
brought
isn't
in
it
today.
boss?
I mean, you know how much I hate Barbie. However, this Barbie is definitely a hoe.
I mean, Barbie is starting to be like a regular appearance on this pod.
I know. I don't even know why I started this shit, but I mean, she's looking great and very flexible.
Yes.
Much more flexible than the Barbie I was using last week when I was trying
Should've
to do
brought
the
her.
positions for the wife carrying thing.
Ho, ho, ho.
I love the ho, ho, ho. We were calling ourselves the ho, ho, whores, weren't we?
Yeah, ho, ho, horse.
Needs a mug with the ho, ho, whores on it. Okay, so we've got the Christmas t-shirt reveal out the way. I'm all fluffy now from my scarf, and I just want to throw a few mentions out there from some of our regulars. As you know, why not? I've got loads of notes today. It's because I've actually printed everything extra large today.
I mean, I wasn't going to comment on that after watching Ryan's episode yesterday,
but
it is
big,
very
innit?
large.
I'm just making sure that I can see what I need to read out.
You
go
do
horribly
you.
wrong. So I'm going to give a little shout out to Andy off Instagram. He's been following us from the start. You might have seen Andy pop up. Good looking dude, actually, glasses. And he always drops his little pearls of wisdom in, and he's always like, you know, keep it going, ladies, 5 stars and all that. And I said to him recently, you're like going for like superhero status, aren't you? You want a cape? And he went, yeah.
He wants that top fan badge on Facebook.
He does, yeah. I don't think he follows us on Facebook, actually. And then we've got a guy called Travis who follows us on Facey, and he says the best way to wake up is with some padded cell and a cup of coffee before work.
I've seen that one, actually.
Did you?
I do actually follow all the comments and stuff on there, but I don't
comment.
comment because it's on me very vanilla real life Facebook. So
yeah,
I am watching.
I do all the commenting for you. I'm always on there befriending randomers from all around the world. Right, so I don't know if any of you just heard, there's a little voice in the background, which doesn't sound like Dylan. It's
Naughty little elf.
definitely not Calvin, because Calvin isn't speaking today. Calvin is sitting here looking like he's been dug up.
In his pink sunglasses.
In his pink star sunglasses that he picked up from Bongo's Bingo last night, where he got absolutely hammered.
Dylan's taking a little snap.
Taking a photograph. Look at the camera now. Come on, that's it. We're gonna share
the look of total regret on his face.
Should we share that picture on Facebook? We've had a share of Dylan's gob on Facebook, so it's about time we had a share of Calvin's very hungover face with star glasses on.
That was a big sigh, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it?
I'm so full of regret.
Are you? Welcome to our world. Well, I mean, you're rocking them, apart from the very red, hungover eyes. But it's that time of year, so whatever. But anyway, it wasn't Calvin making a noise, and it wasn't Dylan. It was Ryan in the background. Say hello, Ryan, in the background.
Hi, Ryan in the background.
So Ryan just couldn't stay away, and he's come to just watch us in action.
He has.
He's actually got a full bottle of Baileys in his hand. Because if you haven't noticed already, we're dead classy. I didn't have any proper Baileys glasses, so I've brought these half-pint like glass tankard things from 1975
with no ice.
I know you're drinking out the bottle because I saw you drinking out the bottle before. So we're here with our salted caramel Baileys.
Oh,
it's also.
I haven't tried it yet.
I did not tell you it was salted caramel. Okay, let's get an authentic reaction.
Oh, it smells.
It smells
like
booze.
No.
Big gulp.
You gotta do a slurp.
Oh, it's nice.
It isn't it? Just. Would you want me to do a slurp for you, Ray?
Yeah, please.
Okay, it's a freebie next time you're paying, all right? Yeah. All right then. So here we go.
Oh.
That has just triggered the life out of me.
It was supposed to be a pretend slurp and a swig at the end, so I did actually slurp it up. Wait, it's a bit nice, that.
It is.
We'll have another go with that.
We should have swapped our tea out for hot chocolates.
Okay. Oh, it's got a little after kick.
It's nice.
I did have to get a little watery eye then. It's the morning, what can I say? Anyway, so, Ryan pipes up in the background. You might hear him shouting his little pearls because I've given him permission and that's it now. It's like closing the gate after the horse has bolted.
We've
had a fuck, and we've had Ryan piping up the background and Calvin, like, gauging his life right now.
He's put his headphones off, he switched us off.
Yeah, his headphones are on now. It's like, fuck this shit, I'm getting abused. So I've had a lovely email from somebody called Samantha, who's originally from Alaska. She now lives in Las Vegas. And she said, I absolutely love your show. Thank you so much for making us weirdos feel loved and appreciated and a little less weird. I think your openness to conversations around sex is so refreshing and helpful to repressed people such as I. Hope the podcast continues on forever, and send my love to Nancy as well, because that was sent while you were off.
Thank you very much.
I swear to God, every other message that people were sending me was like, love to Nance, hearts to Nance, all that kind of thing.
It's very nice.
I haven't had one yet saying I'd love to fuck Nance. But I'm sure it's going to come. They're still just respecting your grieving period, obviously.
That's just Ryan.
Yeah, that's just Ryan, yeah. So there we go. A few little messages. Now, since Ryan's here, from one of his episodes, we were talking about what we could call the middle bit, which is now the dangly bit. And Ryan suggested that we call it the gooch.
I see him.
And I put him through his paces because the poor guy was like trying to be diplomatic and how he was going to describe where the gooch was on a female anatomy.
It was a bit painful to watch that bit.
I was like, just
say it.
spit it out. Just say vagina. It's fine.
He's going a little bit red again now.
Is he? So anyway, I had some guy, he said, referring to episode 9, the gooch or the Biffin's Bridge, because I call it that. He said, I call it the tainter.
The tainter?
Fucking stop drinking the Baileys, right? Jesus Christ. And he said, so I'm like, why is it the tainter? And he said, because it taint your cock or it taint your ass. So I think it needs to be the tainter. Going on now. Okay, I've got loads of little messages, but I'm just going to say a quick hello to the Lucys, who are my friends that aren't my lesy mates. Hiya, girls, you're all right. Okay, I have got some others, but I'll probably do it in the next episode because I could just do a whole bloody episode on all the love that people are giving us. So I am going to move on to our segment in a mo.
Okay.
And you're being all Christmassy, aren't you?
Well, probably not as Christmassy as you think.
Oh, okay. Is it a bit dark?
No, it's not dark.
Okay.
It's still Christmassy and nice.
Yeah.
But it's not full Christmas vomit.
Okay. I'm kind of pleased it's not full on Christmas vomit, to be honest. But anyway. So my one is a little bit controversial. Okay.
I need to put this Baileys away.
I think I need to put this Baileys away because I've got quite a serious topic to cover here. And
okay.
That was really quite strong. So I'm going to move the Baileys there and move me cunt cup there. So my segment today is about a tradition in the Netherlands around Christmas.
Okay. And
I'd never heard of it. Jim went to Rotterdam years ago working. He was there for about a year. And he's there around November and he went, Vic, you should see what's going on here. He went, there's all these people in the street with a St. Nicholas character and his big sleigh. But there's loads of people running around with black faces calling themselves Black Pete. And I'm like, what? Excuse me?
Wow.
So he was like, it's a Christmas tradition. And I'm like, that sounds dodgy as fuck. So anyway, I started looking into it, and it's something that I've know quite a bit about. But because it's a controversial subject, I'm going to try my best to tell it as best as I possibly can. But I'm going to just apologise now if I don't quite get any terminology right. I don't mean any offence by what I'm saying, but it's actually a really interesting story, and it's caused an awful lot of controversy for years and years now. So Black Pete is basically St. Nicholas's little sidekick. So, and they call St. Nicholas Sinterklass over there. Mm-hmm. And Black Pete is called Zwarte Piet, but we're going to call him Black Pete, because I'm like spitting into the microphone. Yeah. Zwarte Piet. So it's this. It's like an amazing festival. The Sinterklass and Black Pete's, there's lots of them. They arrive supposedly on a boat from Spain, and they come into the Netherlands, and they do these like parades down the streets. And it's a real sort of uplifting, like jovial, amazing experience for those who are watching, and has been for years. But it's controversial because the people that play Black Pete are white people who black their faces. And they wear black afro wigs, they wear red lipstick, and these big gold hoops. And straight away I'm like, that's dodgy as fuck, that.
Yeah.
Well, how the fuck are they getting away with this? But it's been going on for years, and so, it is literally entrenched in their culture. And, millions of people look forward to these Sinterklaas parades every year. But obviously, with the Black Lives Matter and lots of other things that are going on, it's obviously been brought into the spotlight, and people are questioning whether it should be around now. But let's just go back a little bit of why it's there, why it's a thing. So apparently it dates back to like the 1850s or so. It's a little bit sketchy on exactly where it comes from, but they reckon it comes from a book that was released around the 1850s by a guy called Jan Schenkman. And in the book, Black Pete was Sinterklaas's dark-skinned helper, referred to only as the servant. So that sits pretty bad with me straight away. But also he's sort of like dressed up. It's like reminiscent of a page. Okay. So the costume that they wear, it's very like, like puffed shoulders and puffy pants and the page type flat hat with the, and bright colours, a lot like reds and blacks and golds. I mean, the costume is amazing. But historians, they agree that this character is linked to slavery. Yeah. And at the time, page boys, they worked for nothing. They received no wages. And so it has got these undertones. And yes, it was allowed to continue. So originally, the character was originally seen as the assistant to the stern, punishing Sinterklaas. So Santa Claus was like the mean guy. It's like, if you're a little shit, you'll get nothing. And he didn't. But around 1890, the roles reversed and Sinterklaas softened. And Black Pete became the scary character. He'd rattle his chains and threaten children. And so the role of both characters has evolved over time. And once the sole punisher, by the 1960s, they decided that Black Pete would become like a bit more softened, and he would make empty threats like, look, if you don't stop being a little bastard, I'm going to stick it in my sack and I'm going to take you back to Spain on my boat. And you're like, bloody hell.
Like we did to the kids.
But it was all said in jest, But he also hands out chocolates and sweets, and very much an uplifting, positive character nowadays. And Santa Claus is obviously, how we see him, the lover of children, giving out gifts and stuff like that. But obviously, it's met with quite a lot of public disapproval. And I mean, I don't have to say why, but I'm going to. So straight away, the whole black wig, the blackened face, the black lips and the hoops, it just makes a mockery, really, doesn't it? And it's only white people that black their faces. It's not there's no black people. And you have children, you have men, you have women, all dressed up as Black Pete. And it says that it comes from a good place. It's keeping this tradition going in the Netherlands, which is admirable in a way. You want to keep your traditions going, but not at the expense of people that you stand side by side with in that country. So, as you can imagine, there's actually been quite a lot of protests about Black Pete over the years, and there's actually been riots over it.
I can imagine.
Especially, since Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
People are like, okay, just because it's tradition doesn't mean it's got to be here forever. If this tradition is damaging, it's creating damaging stereotypes, then why the fuck are you continuing it? And it is a damaging stereotype. So if we go back to what I was saying before about the page and Black Pete would go into the crowd rattling his chains, it's making a mockery out of the history of slavery. Yeah. And it's a damaging stereotype because Black Pete became the scaredy kids. And so therefore, they're sending out this message that Black people are scary.
Turned him into the bad guy.
Exactly. So absolutely right, it should be questioned. So let's just look at the supporters though and why they want to continue this. Told you it was a serious subject, but dead interesting. I mean, I didn't even know this was going on. This is like an hour's flight away from the UK. And this has been going on until a couple of years ago. Crazy. So, many of the traditionalists argue that the character's appearance is part of a harmless tradition and not tied to racism at all. They believe in a different version of history where Black Pete was more of a noble servant. I'm like, talk about putting a fucking spin on something just to make it okay.
So why is he the bad guy then?
Exactly. So that's bullshit.
Yep.
Off you fuck. So there's other Black Pete supporters who say that the character gets a black face from coming down the chimney. Now, this is an idea that is actually being more accepted now. I'll go into that in a minute. But it still doesn't explain the exaggerated red lips, the afro, the accessories. Where does that come in? Yeah. From going down the chimney. So I call bullshit on that one as well. So they say that they're fighting for the right to uphold the character's full costume as an important part of Dutch culture. And they fear that outsiders are going to strip them of their cultural identity. I feel like standing in front of these people and going, just listen to yourselves.
But I don't think how many people actually know about it.
I know.
It's not what you identify the Dutch for.
No, definitely. But do you know what? I always thought that, the Dutch people were really liberal and very open, to different cultures and everything, really. When I go over there, it's so liberal. So I was quite surprised when I read all about this. But it says, that they disagree with allegations of racism because for generations they viewed the festivities as something entirely wholesome to bring joy to children. And how can others accuse them of racism when they've never knowingly had racist intentions? So, okay, they might not have started out along this path with racist intentions, but actually it's offensive to people.
Yeah.
So if people are finding it offensive, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter that it's a tradition. It matters that other people are finding it offensive, and it's actually very hurtful. So stop. And there's actually there's some kids in school who are getting bullied and picked on, and they're getting going, Black Pete. Like, oh, come on now, come on.
Yeah.
So this whole, entirely wholesome thing that brings joy to children, actually there's some children out there it doesn't bring joy to.
They're suffering from it.
Exactly. So there's this a guild, and it's fighting to preserve the tradition of Black Pete. And it says they're generally surprised when they notice that people see Black Pete as a racist figure. And when you're reading something, I just kept having to stop and go, fucking hell.
People are just blind to it.
Yeah. So, there's a guild. I can't even say.
But surely when it gets brought up to them, they must think, oh, shit. Yeah, kind of does look like that, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know, because it's been going on for years. I'd say recently they've actually gone, all right. It's all because of the George Floyd thing, they've had to sit up and look at these things. So, what's Ryan just done in the background?
He's just headbutted the window.
You haven't just headbutted the window. Ryan, put the Baileys down. Back away from the Baileys. What, the windows are clean?
He tried to look out and headbutted it.
The window.
Well, yeah.
Wow. I wish we would film that. Because that camera doesn't
I thought you'd wiped out.
Anyway, back to Black Pete. Fuck off, right?
That was a serious moment, that,
I was
Ryan.
right in the middle of a fucking serious moment, and you're butting the window and licking it afterwards like a knobhead. Right, where was I? Okay, so there's this guild. I can't really say it, to be honest with you, but it's basically a Black Pete Guild.
Give it a go.
The Sinton Pietin Gilder. You fucking try and say it. Never mind laughing at me. I thought so. I mean, it's probably wrong, but you know. And it says that this is still often not recognised. As a result, acceptable ways of depicting Black Pete from history are incorrectly interpreted as racist. And it just goes on and on and on about why it's not racist. And this guild's just getting nowhere, basically. Anyway, there's opposers out there, obviously, the anti-Black Pete movement. And people that are opposed to Black Pete emphasise that the character's cartoonish, historical, unsavoury portrayal reinforces negative stereotypes, like you were saying before, and contributing to an inherent bias against people of colour. And they see some issues that need resolving before the holiday can be a peaceful one. I don't know how you can argue with that.
No.
But people are. So it's saying that historical evidence proves the character arose out of colonial times when slavery was the accepted norm. And now there's not the accepted norm. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's
right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at all the statues that are getting pulled down and everything, you know, because now we have a better understanding and empathetic to what people have been through, and this sort of thing should not really be accepted. So, they're saying that this bias against Black people has been carried with Black Pete over the years, whether consciously or not, and they see the blackface character as a racist and harmful relic from the past. And also, they don't generally buy into the idea that black paint was separate from the popular and embarrassing blackface makeup of the time. Blackface was used by white people as a device to mock and dehumanise Black people in their portrayal, not only in the US, but also throughout Europe. So it goes on, you know, about blackface and why it's harmful. I'm hoping we all know that, so I'm not going to go into it. So they're calling for this festival to be completely eradicated, quite rightly so. And since George Floyd, the rallies and riots and things that have taken place have gone up exponentially. Now, the riots, though, however, have not been facilitated by the opposers. There's been a rise in like British National Party, people coming forward and using this as just an excuse to fight.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh right, so you're opposing that? Well, we're going to come and stir the shit, and they're causing all sorts of murder. So they're just using it as an excuse just to cause a fight, basically. So now, after 2018 and a lot of these protests, there's 17 Dutch cities that have now banned the Sinterklaas Black Pete festivals. There is uproar about it, but there's like, well, tough shit. We're making a stand. Now, there are other cities that have modified it instead, and as said before about rather than using the blackface, they're using like the sooty face instead. And they're trying to change the dialogue in schools and stuff, and they're creating this like sooty Pete instead. But for me, it still comes from a bad place. It doesn't matter how you interpret that now. It's still coming from a harmful stereotype.
Yeah. And how many years and years would it take for that to die out?
It'd be generations, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then you've still got the diehards that are going to continue it anyway in their own way. Now, thankfully, social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram have actually banned images of Black Pete. Now, I do have some images of Black Pete. I'm not going to share them on Facebook because it's banned. But because I'm talking about it in the way that I am, I can actually show it on YouTube. So if you're interested and you're listening on Spotify, you're going to be able to see these pictures on YouTube. Or you can just look up Black Pete if you want, if you don't want to go on YouTube. So when I show you this, you're going to see why I think that people are just really cross about this and why it shouldn't be happening. So here we go.
Wow.
Okay, I'm just going to show it to the camera so Dylan can have a look at that. Okay, so you've got white people, a man and a woman, and they've blackened their face. They've got this costume on with the red lips, and they're having a lovely time with just no regard at all to how harmful that is for any person of colour who's at that festival.
Yeah, it's definitely not a sooty face. That's
a black face.
Yeah.
So,
even the lips and everything, it's too much.
That's what bothers me, actually. The blackface is bad enough, but the opposers are actually right, because they're saying that it's almost a cartoonish, mocking representation with the red lips and the crazy wig and the big hooped earrings. It's such bad taste, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that might have been acceptable back in 1850. I'm sure it was, but it's not acceptable now. So lots of stores have banned Black Pete and Black Pete photos from the high streets. Like I say, social media platforms have banned it. And more noticeably recently, Black Lives Matter protests and international racism movements are sparked by the George Floyd murder. It's drawn attention basically to systemic racism that is actually a pretty big problem in the Netherlands. I just never knew that.
Yeah.
But then actually, it's a country like ours and we've got a problem, so why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So that a bit of ignorance on my part. So one of a few little tidbits, if you like. The Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, in 2020 acknowledged for the first time that there was institutional racism in the country and said that his opinion of Black Pete had changed, realising that children were feeling discriminated against during the festive holidays. And that's the last thing they wanted during Sinterklaas. However, it's a bit hypocritical because a few years earlier, the very same Prime Minister was in the parade with a blackface.
Fuck's sake. What's wrong with people?
It's like reminiscent of Boris Johnson. I can see Boris Johnson doing exactly the same thing and think it's perfectly okay.
He's a fucking
Dickhead.
mongo, isn't he?
Twat. And if you're a supporter of Boris Johnson, you don't like him being called a twat.
Not
I'm
even
not
sorry.
apologising for it because he's a twat. Okay, so that's the Prime Minister who's done a little bit of a U-turn. This guy, he's I don't know whether he's a leader or a member of the Kick Out Black Pete movement. He's got an unusual surname. I'm not going to try and say it, don't want to be disrespectful. But he received a letter from these activists, these BNP activists. We'll have fun slaughtering you, your family and extended family, and won't wait for Sinterklaas. Now, anybody who's got any argument against any of this, even if they think the blackface thing is okay, it's provoking hatred amongst these other people.
Yeah.
So if nothing else hits home, that message that guy got from some racist twat somewhere, that alone should make you think this needs to stop, because even though the blackface, in my opinion, isn't that bad, it's provoking these people to send shit like that, so it needs to stop. So there's so many arguments for this not to be carrying on. So going forward, there's the different municipalities around the country are suggesting different colours for peace rather than Black Pete. So red, blue, rainbow. I just don't know why they're doing it. Just stop. Just stop, because it's a reminder. If you change something, it's still a reminder of where it came from.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to continue this sooty chimney Pete thing. But thankfully, since COVID, obviously a lot of these traditions, these festivals, they had to stop because of social distancing. And so in 2020, the whole Black Pete parade was stopped. But since everything reopened again, there are still little pockets around the country. It's still going on. I get the feeling it's in the smaller towns rather than the big cities. From what I can gather, in the big cities, it's either toned down or it's not happening at all. But it is still happening in the smaller towns. Now, before I finish, I just want to read this excerpt, which it just made me go, for fuck's sake. A November 2020 survey shows that most people who changed their minds about Black Pete indicated on the survey that they were in favour of adjusting Black Pete to keep the peace, rather than because of a changed perception of the character. They want to get rid of the social unrest and demonstrations. So they want to eradicate Black Pete just because the social unrest and riots are upsetting them. Not because
they know they're fucking idiots.
Yeah, not because this is wrong on every level. So I know it's a little bit dark for Christmas, but I knew you were going to go all like Christmas cunt. So I thought I'm going to just tell you a really interesting story, because it's not something that I knew loads about before Jim went to the Netherlands. And part of me is like, gosh, it actually does sound like it's this big, colourful, fun festival. And I suppose for children who don't know any different, it's probably this really exciting thing for them to go and see.
That's it, but kids aren't born racist, are they?
No,
They learn.
they don't see colour. But all the adults that are taking these kids to the festival, they do have a choice and they do have an opinion. and they're still choosing to go along and support these things, even if they're not taking part in them themselves. So this made me think about my own views on all this. And I'm sorry I'm serious, but every now and then we're going to go serious. But I said cunt, twat and bastard and fuck and everything. So, you know.
And we've got ho-ho Barbie.
And we've got, you know, mad T-shirts and shit on. So it made me think, so, you know, like they talk a lot about white privilege and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. Actually, I don't. So what I've found dead interesting lately is I've been listening to podcasts, black culture podcasts, and there's a programme as well on the BBC about black women growing up in the UK. And I've also been listening to this podcast, and it's this guy's story about being a black man and disadvantages that he has in America. And you know, you listen to something and you think you know what you believe and you understand, and you know your interpretation of the struggles that black people have faced. I was listening to these people, I'm like, oh, God, fuck me, you're amazing. Because I actually haven't got a clue. I have not got a clue, really, about what it must be like actually to face this sort of discrimination on a day-to-day basis. And when I've listened to these podcasts, I'm like, okay, I'm ashamed for all the other white people out there. And I shouldn't be at all, but I was, because I'm like, we have not got a clue. We have not got a clue what it's like to live like this and to see this sort of thing happening in front of our eyes every day. And I don't think any of us can actually say, I understand and I empathise with you, because unless you've lived in that body for that life, you've got no idea.
No.
But what we can do is not support shit like this. And I'm really, really glad that it's being phased out. It's about bloody time, really. There's lots of other things that people can enjoy and do around Christmas without using really dark history, turning it round and making a mockery out of it, because that's what it is.
I'm surprised there's not more like proper outcry about it. Because
why don't all the other countries know about it? Why don't we all know? Why? I
mean, Beyonce's been all over the world news because her skin looked a little bit lighter last week.
Yeah.
And that's like public outcry.
I'm just, why is that sort of thing making news though? At the
but
end
then
of the day,
this is happening and no one knows.
No. I mean, well, you didn't know about this. Did you know anything about this, Dylan?
I didn't know about that.
You did know about it.
Okay.
Well, there you go. You're not well read then, Nance.
Clearly not.
So I just wanted to just bring something which is a little bit more edgy to the Christmas episode before you go up full on like, you know, fucking Christmas.
I have not.
Okay, well, you're going to, aren't you?
No.
And just highlight something, you know, that Christmas is a lovely time of year, but actually this sort of thing is still going on and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's me being serious. I'm not going to be serious any longer now, but I love that. I love that people are now standing up and they're like, no, not acceptable.
Time for change.
Not acceptable at all, yeah. And, you know, it's quite nice that our younger generation are growing up with a different mindset, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, you can see the younger people. They're so much more open about sexuality, gender, colour. Unfortunately, it just took a very long time to get to that point, hasn't it? Okay, so I am going to read you a story for our dangly bit.
Okay.
It's
going to send
Christmassy.
me to sleep with my Baileys because this is going down a bit
Is it?
too
I
well.
haven't had a slurp of mine yet. Tell you what, it's only supposed to be 17%, but it's making me go, it's a bit strong.
Oh, I don't know, it's nice.
Okay, so just let me give my nose a little wipe before I do this one. So, dangly bit. I'm going to read this as it was sent to me.
Oh.
Okay. And it was sent to me by Sylvia in Portland, Maine. You know when something cringe happens and you store it away hoping that the memory doesn't reappear?
Yes.
I've got loads of them, you know. Occasionally,
Yes, I do.
it just goes, ha, and creeps up on you and reminds you of that horrendous time you wish the world opened up and swallowed
I
you
had
up.
this conversation with Sid yesterday.
Did you? So have you got some like bad cringe moments, have you?
He had a really bad one.
Did you? Go on.
So he was having
Before
a
I
little,
start, come on. Have a little slurp me Baileys while you're talking.
He was having a little, not a to-do, but, you know, a little bit of a heated exchange with someone, which was a dance teacher from one of the kids. She was like the head teacher at the dance school.
Okay, heated exchange with Sid.
A little bit of a heated exchange, and they were texting, and then somehow he sent a photo of him which had like a Snapchat filter on, feeding the baby with big red lipstick, eyelashes, just this horrific picture that he'd taken as a joke to send to me. And he sent it in the middle of an argument to the head teacher at the dance school.
So you just lost that argument completely then?
And we were walking into Asda yesterday and it just popped into my head and I said, Joe, I just love it when like I just remember you sending that picture to the head teacher. And he was like, oh, fuck off.
Reminding him.
And every now and then it just pops in my head and I love it.
Oh, I've got a few moments like that. I'm not going to repeat them, but just you just go, oh, I wish that memory would just disappear into the stratosphere, never to reappear.
But if you'd ever bring that up with him, he would die on the spot.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll be bringing that up. And you, Ray.
Stick that in your back pocket.
Okay, let's start again. So, you know when something cringe happens and you store it away hoping that the memory doesn't reappear? Well, I have a Christmas cringe story which loves to poke me in the brain every Christmas just as a little reminder. I've been dating my now husband for 7 months. We had a long-distance relationship but came together on our first Christmas spending 2 weeks together. I was meeting his family for the first time. Although we had spoken on the phone previous to this, I was really nervous. I wanted to impress them as my then boyfriend had been bigging me up and the pressure was on. He came from a religious family with old family values, but I didn't hold any religious beliefs myself at all. I didn't let that bother me though, as they seemed really cool with this and were looking forward to meeting me. All good so far. I turned up on Christmas Eve at his parents' house and everything was perfect. The house looked like something out of a Christmas movie and the turkey was roasting in the oven. It smelled lovely. There were several family members there, including aunties, uncles and cousins. My boyfriend's mum had set up a table for dinner and we were going to open a present each on Christmas Eve after dinner and then open the rest on the big day.
Can see where this is going.
Everyone had popped all of their presents under the tree on arrival. And after dinner, my boyfriend's mum picked a random present from under the tree and placed it in front of its named recipient. I was busy chatting to my boyfriend at the table and didn't look up to see who was guessing what. I got a lovely box-shaped present wrapped beautifully and I was fixated on diving into opening the gift. I was starting to unwrap when silence rested over the table. I looked up and my boyfriend's dad was staring down at a large parcel he had unwrapped. I realised in horror that he had opened the wrong present, and at that very same moment, he lifted up a sexy piece of lingerie by its straps and held it up in front of him. As he did so, a dildo, some flavoured lube, a blindfold and a bottle of poppers dropped out of the lingerie onto the table in front of him for all to see. There was a little note attached to the straps of the lingerie, swinging like a little read me tag from Alice in Wonderland. At this point, nobody in the room fessed up as there were several ladies present. It could have been any one of us. I was dying inside and praying to their mocking God that he would take pity and not read that note. Not only did he read the note, but he read it out loud. He looked around the room, paused and said, "I've been a very bad girl while I've been away, but I promised to make up for it." He looked up and dramatically said to the room, "Kiss, kiss, kiss." This all happened within seconds, but it felt like 5 hours. It was apparent at this point that he had been given the wrong gift and I was the giver of said gift. I didn't live local and travelled with work. Of course it was my gift. Imagine my relief and horror when he said, "I have my hands full with one bad girl, so I'll let my son deal with you." The whole room exploded with laughter and I was resembling a boiled lobster, literally dying from the inside out. I swear it must have taken at least 5 minutes for laughter to subside. And after wiping their tears and catching my breath, they all got up and came over to hug me and pat me on the shoulder. My boyfriend had slipped out of the room and I found him in the kitchen, equally dying from the inside out. My boyfriend and his dad shared the same name and his mum had mistakenly given my gift to my future father-in-law. Now every Christmas this story is retold and I will die all over again. This was 22 years ago and I still feel sick whenever I think of the dildo dropping onto the dining table.
What baffles me is why do people put these gifts under the tree?
I don't know. Surely it's an American thing, isn't it?
That's a separate one that you just think, I'll keep that one.
A little discreet
That'll
one.
be later on.
Yeah.
Not fucking breakfast.
I mean, it was just, when I read, he lifted up the lingerie and what was it? A dildo, a bottle of lube, a blindfold and a bottle of poppers. Like, he was in for a good night.
No.
So there you go. Poor Sylvia from Maine is still cringing 22 years
I'm not
on
surprised.
from that horrendous
I think
Christmas
I just have to leave.
experience. I don't know. I mean, once you're there, what you do, leave and never go back.
Just get pissed.
Just get pissed, yeah.
Just get the
Get on
Baileys
yourself a
open.
caramel Baileys, yeah. Definitely only having one of these, Nance. Bloody hell.
I don't know. I might need a top up.
Oh, fuck off.
Sure, you've only had that bit.
Yeah. Right then. We're going to run on, obviously. What have you got for us,
Well,
Nance?
mine is only really short and sweet.
Is it on? So I'm going to
Because-
just change my headgear especially.
Go on then.
Because in a previous episode, you promised, well, you didn't promise, but you said that you were going to come as a Christmas elf. And I'm
I
really
did.
disappointed that you haven't. Because I said, do you remember what I said I was going to come as?
Christmas turkey. Ryan sounds like a turkey in the corner.
He does. Is he gobbling too? Gobble, gobble, gobble.
He is gobbling in the corner.
So I challenge you now, Nance, to do your segment with a straight face, looking at me, looking like a tit.
He's always got
A turkey tit.
I mean, I've
She
got,
has
I've
resting
got
bitch
proper
face.
resting bitch face, so.
I'm in me turkey headgear with me
Christmas centipede.
centipede t-shirt, drinking salted caramel Baileys. Happy Christmas, guys.
We're just missing some
Getting
helium.
slowly pissed.
So,
Right.
yeah, mine is only really short and sweet
Okay.
because I'm very conscious that we do chat a lot of shit sometimes.
I
And
love
we
the
get
way
to
you
the
said
end.
we.
Well, just
Nancy spoke.
you and the turkey.
Shut up, Ray. Dickhead.
So, like you, I was looking at some different Christmas traditions from around the world.
Yeah.
I was looking for something interesting, something that like grabbed me interest. But there was nothing, there was loads of like weird and wonderful little things. But there was one little thing that was just really lovely. You know, something that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. I
Does
don't really
anything
get that
make you
feeling.
feel for? Yeah.
But-
Since when have you been warm and fuzzy?
Okay, my warm and fuzzy is like it's starting to defrost a little bit around the edges.
Okay.
So this made me start to defrost. And it's a little story from the Ukraine.
Okay.
So the story goes that there was an old widow that lived in her little house
An old widow.
with her two little kids, and they were really poor, and it was Christmas Eve. And it says one day a pine cone dropped from the tree outside and took root, and the children were dead excited about it. So they looked after this pine cone, and it grew into a tree just in time for Christmas.
That was fucking quick, wasn't it? On steroids.
So come Christmas Eve, this little widow is all upset because she's got the tree, but she hasn't got anything to decorate it with.
She
She
throw the
can't
kids
afford-
on it.
No, she loved her kids. So she couldn't afford decorations, couldn't afford like presents under the tree or anything. And the kids were obviously crying that they didn't have a nice Christmas tree like everyone else. And that they couldn't decorate it. So the little spider in the corner was listening to the kids cry. So the mum puts the kids to bed on Christmas Eve and leaves this tiny little bare tree. And then they come down on Christmas morning and the spider has covered the tree in spider webs. And then they open the windows and all the sunshine makes the spider web look like all the decorations.
Oh.
Because the spider apparently brings good luck and prosperity.
Is it a Ukrainian thing, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it decorated the tree for them and it made their Christmas.
See, this is like reminiscent of you, isn't it? Because you love Halloween and you love Christmas. It's like
It's
a little
it's
mashup,
Nancy
isn't it?
crossover. It is. That's why I like it, I think. And so now, like Ukrainians really think that spiders need to be like looked after. They're really good fortune and stuff.
So don't kill them.
They don't.
I
They definitely-
hate people that
So if
kill
you see
spiders.
a spider in your house, good luck. You don't get rid of it.
Oh, it's not working in our house. We've lived in a 450-year-old cottage full of spiders.
Yeah. Come
Still
September
waiting
when
for me,
they're
look.
come September when they're all over the place, I don't particularly
No,
like
I
them.
like spiders.
I mean,
Bigger the
I
better.
like spiders, but I don't want them just staring at me while I'm in bed.
One dropped down on top of me from the bed.
Yeah.
I have like a little ledge, and it just went. I actually made a noise. That's how fucking big this thing was. Like I had boots on, and it just went doink and landed on my pillow. I fucking shit myself. Even though I like spiders, you know, when you look, it's like
Yeah, you
just
don't want them
there.
by surprise though.
Jesus, I went. "Ah!" The spider went and flew across the room.
Yeah,
but then
I was
all
thinking
night I
about
was
getting
like
a little
looking for
jumping
spider.
spider. I want to get a little
They have
pet one.
jumping spiders in Cyprus.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they have them elsewhere, but I've seen them in Cyprus. And they just sort of go dunk, 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 and just jump everywhere. They're freaky.
How's it go?
Ding, 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 ding.
No banjo.
And they actually make the noise as well. Ding, ding, ding. But they do. They're just like they stealth and they jump really far.
Yeah.
Like, make you shit yourself.
Yeah. So now it's like a tradition in the Ukraine that everyone decorates their Christmas trees with all these little spiders, like spider jewels, loads of cobweb ornaments and stuff.
Oh.
And now I feel like I need to get one because they're just that nice.
So you've got about 4 trees in your house, haven't you?
5.
5. Dickhead. Well, why do you have 5 trees? I mean,
So we have the
honestly.
main tree,
Yeah.
the big main tree that no one's usually allowed to touch. Though this year I broke protocol and I let the kids decorate it with me.
Did you change it afterwards though?
No,
You didn't move one ornament?
nothing.
Because I did.
No.
Like my kids decorated one year and they came down the next day and they go, it doesn't look the same.
I think obviously we're going through a lot of stuff at home.
Yeah.
I think I've just got a bit soft. And it was just a little, yeah, okay. Just
So-
do something nice with the kids, be the nice mum.
Is this soft centre that you're developing, is it temporary? Because I don't know whether I can
I
cope.
think so.
I don't think I can cope with the soft Nance.
I'm still a cunt.
Well, yeah, but you like a softer,
soft
fluffier one.
A soft centre cunt.
Yeah. And it's a bit discombobulating, I can't lie.
I know.
So,
It's
you
like
know,
that for me.
I'm going to give you till New Year's Eve to get your fucking shit together.
Okay.
And then when we come back next year, I need hardcore Conti Nance back, please.
Okay.
No
Yes,
horse,
boss.
swing and brick, all that. All right,
Yeah.
no fluffiness.
No
Christmas
crying.
is gone.
No crying.
No Christmas spiders making webs on trees and going all
I mean,
fluffy and all
my
that.
Christmas cuntiness is never going to change.
No, but I just feel like this year you've like, yeah.
Just got a bit.
I mean, you're smiling and everything.
Stop it. I need a Botox top off.
Is there too much movement going on? Is there? Sorry, I just highlighted that.
Yeah. Get me booked in.
Oh, so I like the little Christmas spider
And
story.
I look at them. I've
You got a picture?
saved a couple.
My mum
I
used to
just
have a
think they're
tarantula
dead
years ago.
pretty. Oh, how pretty is that?
Okay, sorry. For a nanosecond, I was like, God, that spider's been busy. It's obviously a fake.
This is a fake one.
Put the Baileys down. Honestly, look, oh my God, that's beautiful.
Aren't they dead pretty?
Right, so we're going to share these on YouTube. So if you watch it on YouTube, you can see that's really pretty.
Can you see this, Dylan?
Nice. Very nice.
Pretty, aren't they?
Very you.
Very, like you say, a crossover between
Yeah,
Halloween and Christmas.
yeah. I've never heard that before about the Ukraine.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice.
So yeah, that was just my cute little thing that I found.
Your
And it made
cute
me a
little
little bit
thing.
fuzzy.
Your fuzzy thing.
It was either that or the Baileys.
Okay, so after Christmas then, all this nonsense, all this niceness, this
We're gonna pack that
smiling,
away.
this fluffiness, it all needs to be packaged away, okay? And you need to bring the Nancy that I know and love back, please, because I can't cope with all this happiness.
Okay. Top 10 cunt.
Yeah, please.
Got it.
Thank you. Right, so before we go, and you know what? You told that story without even like cracking a smile at me head. I'm very
And you were
surprised.
trying your best because I
I
seen
was
your little
doing all that.
wobblies.
I know. I was
or-
trying to be distraction. It wasn't working.
No.
Do you know what the face reminds me of? Do you remember Chicken Run?
Yeah.
Do you remember Chicken Run? I love Chicken Run. It's got the same face as the chickens in the Chicken Run. So before we go, I'm just going to highlight our next episode to you. So this episode is going out the 21st December. Obviously, we're a little bit ahead of you guys.
Needs a trigger warning, doesn't it?
What needs a trigger warning? Oh, the next
The
one.
next one.
Yeah,
Just for me.
just for you.
I'm
yeah.
Ryan.
So this episode's going out the 21st December, and we're having a little break, a little Christmas break, just so Nancy can get all
Finally
of
couldn't see
this,
this.
all this out of her system in time for New Year. But we are releasing an episode on the 28th of December. It's going to be a Patreon episode, so it's just a little cost to come and see us doing some mad shit. And we're bringing Ryan in for this episode.
We're just going to arm wrestle over this chair.
So Ryan's going to be involved, and it's going to get a little bit messy. And we're doing this because Ryan brought up an eating challenge in one of his episodes, stupidly. And so we're doing a little bit of an
Yeah,
eating challenge.
Can't wait.
Bet you can't. So
Yay.
that's in the next episode on the 28th, but you do have to pay through Patreon to see that. But then the next mainstream episode's out on the 4th of January. So you'll be able to see the episode 16 on the 4th of January. This little in-between Patreon one is not in our normal sequence of things. So those who don't want to go over to Patreon, you're not going to miss out on anything in the normal sequence of events. But those who want to see a little bit of extra Christmas madness, 28th December.
It'll definitely be worth it.
I think so.
Just to see Ryan cry.
And the reason why we're doing a little Patreon is because we don't monetize this thing at all. I listen to podcasts all the time. I can see myself in the lappy and I look like a duck. I can't. I'm making myself laugh. I listen to podcasts all the time and I hate it when there's adverts at the beginning, the end, twice in the middle. You're just getting into it and an advert pops up of like, I'm not even going to say a name because I'll probably get sued for some company. And I'm like, just get on with it. And I'm like fast forwarding all the time. And they do like sponsorships and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't want you guys to be disrupted from our chaos with an advert, you know, for holidays or whatever. So we're not going to be doing any adverts. I'm not signing up for no promotional shit or nothing like that. They've been contacting me, I can tell you. We've had people wanting to sponsor and all sorts. I'm like, no, thank you, because I don't want our listeners to get all that bullshit, to be honest. So, but we have to obviously, you know, cover our costs somehow. So we're going to start doing some little things next year. So we're going to do some Patreons. First one, 28th December. And we're going to be releasing a little bit of merch next year as well. And we're also going to be starting a little tip box as well. So for those who think
box.
Tip.
Oh, just the tip.
Just
the tip.
So if any of you want to, like, you know, throw us a couple of quiz and all that, I'll share all the details on our Facebook page, and we're going to be releasing a website as well in the new year, so you can keep up with stuff on there too.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It's all exciting stuff, yeah. And have you noticed that I've got it out my system now that I'm like, oh my God, Nance, it's episode 15.
Yeah.
I'm sort of over that now. And also I'm having to type what the episode is on my notes because I can't remember. So, on that note, I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. We've still got a little bit to go. You'll be like right on top of Christmas.
Yeah.
And we've still got a little bit of Christmas stuff to go.
2 weeks.
A couple of weeks, yes. Have the best time. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and I hope you've enjoyed all the previous episodes. And I just want to say thank you all for your support so far. Me and Nance just thought it was just going to be me and her having a little laugh.
Yeah.
And there's millions of people watching us all over the place and you keep sharing us with all your mates, which is great. And you're chatting to me online. Keep that up. But in the meantime, have a fabulous time. I'll see you online and hopefully we'll see some of you on the 28th December for our special Patreon episode. But let's raise a glass. You've got nothing left in your glass.
It's gone.
She's got. I haven't even got a slurp. You've got a slurp.
I've got the dregs.
Cheers, Sancha.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas, Dylan. Oh, Calvin's passed out somewhere. He's gone.
He's robbed the Baileys and got off.
He's got off, hasn't he? Merry Christmas. And there we have it. Another day made better by listening to the Curators of Chaos. Thanks for dropping by. And if you enjoyed the show, we'd really appreciate you sharing your love of the Pad to Sell podcast with your friends. Don't forget, give us a follow on our socials. Maybe leave us some 5-star reviews. And feel free to send us an email to medic@the podcast. Or even interact with us on Facebook, Insta and our other socials. Because we love chatting to you. Be sure to stop by next week because, as Bowie says, I don't know where I'm going next, but I promise it won't be boring. Catch you soon.